Alright, so let's talk about Sonic Frontiers. This is the latest 3D Sonic game, and there's been a sort of dividing reception of the game I've noticed since the release of the first trailers. People seem to be really excited or put off that it now has a sort of open world type of feel with some new combat mechanics. So, is it worth playing? Let's get into the overall summary, going over a bit of the story, gameplay, and then my final thoughts on if this game is going to be worth your time and money. Let's get into it, and please let me know in the comments below what you think of Sonic Frontiers. Give us your thoughts and opinions. This game was developed by Sonic Team and published by Sega. It's available on all major platforms: PC, Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo Switch, which is the version that I played. It's currently going for $59.99 US. Some accurate tags I would give Sonic Frontiers to give you a better understanding of the game overall are action RPG, open world sandbox, single player, mini games, and comedic fantasy. The story takes place with Sonic, Tails, and Amy on their way to an island that has been giving off energy signals of Chaos Emeralds. They're flying in on Tails' plane, but just before they can get off to investigate, they are sucked into some sort of portal that leaves them split up. Amy and Tails are semi-transparent in an alternate plane, while Sonic has to explore various islands of different biomes, save his friends, and learn the truth about the ancient islands and how the Chaos Emeralds ties into all of this. And Eggman, of course, and another new character seems to be the antagonist this time around. The game can be summed up with a couple of features and mechanics here, these being exploration, minigames, stages, and combat. Let's start with exploration. Once the game begins and you've finished the initial tutorial showing you all of Sonic's moves, you're thrown right into this giant lush green island and you're off to adventure. At the start, Sonic can double jump, speed dash, homing attack, slide, ground pound, and a new move that you get right away called the Cycloop. This can be used to run in circles around enemies and the environment, damaging and revealing treasures. In this large open map, you'll be running through all sorts of obstacles and platforms. There's puzzles to solve, enemies to fight, and parkouring to do, all of which give Sonic different types of progression. Solving puzzle challenges unlock more of the map, as well as spawning fast travel rails so you can get back and forth between points quicker. There's a ton of currencies to collect. These are used for story progression as you need a certain amount to start missions. Other types can grant Sonic permanent upgrades. There's an NPC which will accept some of which to increase your attack, defense, run speed, and ring hold count, which is basically your health. Let's talk about stages. These are portals on the island which transport you to a separate level. These stages play very differently as they're meant to be a quick arcade-like challenge. They change between old school 2D platforming all the way to semi-on-rails high-speed levels. Completing certain challenges on these stages grants you with more key currencies. You'll have to do things like get to the goal within a specific time, collect a certain amount of rings, and find all the red rings. Now for combat, this is the biggest new addition to Sonic Frontiers, and there's quite a lot to go over here. Sonic no longer just jumps into enemies and homing strikes. He now has attacks for punching, kicking, dodging, and lots of special moves that you'll unlock through the game with experience points. There's a skill tree which has story progression locked abilities, but some that you can learn at any time as long as you got levels. For example, you can get new moves that grant Sonic waves when kicking, a finisher for filling up your combo meter, and counter parry punishers. The enemies in the game range from tiny quick robots that you can beat up all the way to giant titans, which take a little bit more time to defeat. Once again, beating enemies and finding secrets gives you more currencies for all manners of progression. There are usually boss battles at the end of each island story point that forces you to fight as Super Sonic. After that, it is simply get to the next island and repeat. And that's Sonic Frontiers in a nutshell. So, what did I think overall of the game? Well, to be honest, this game sucks. Now, before you dislike and click off the video, hear me out. This game has glaring flaws, but damn it, I had fun playing it. I am a huge Sonic fan. I've played almost all of them since the Sega Genesis days. My favorites are Sonic 2, Sonic Adventure 2, and quick honorable mention to Sonic Battle on the GBA and Sonic Shuffle on the Dreamcast. This game is janky, and I honestly believe a couple of months more of polish would have really done wonders for this game. But luckily, nowadays, Sonic fans have low expectations for these games. Hell, some people even play them to make fun and just simply enjoy the ride. Sonic 06, for example, was an unfinished hellhole, but is now comedically infamous for its glitches and game-breaking bugs. Luckily, from what I've played so far, Sonic Frontiers does not have any game-breaking issues, but here are the things I do want to praise and complain about. First of all, it feels like multiple teams worked on the development here without consulting each other on the various tones and feels of the environment, the characters, the personalities, the music, everything. For example, you have this awesome open large map which is reminiscent of Breath of the Wild. You're free to explore, defeat enemies, solve puzzles, and progress at your own pace. The music here is also very chill, very slow, very naturey, but then that all kind of contrasts with Sonic and his character. He's generally a fast-talking, quippy surfer bro kind of guy, and he tries to do some one-liners here and there, and while I do appreciate it, it just comes at terrible moments in the game, and you're instead rolling your eyes and kind of ignoring it. I don't know if I really like his voice acting here. It sounds more of like it should have been for Knuckles with this kind of deep voice.
You again?
Submit. Your reckless actions endanger the world.
Care to explain how saving my friends is a bad thing?
At one moment, Sonic is making jokes, and all of a sudden Amy chimes in with serious talk about forever love and not being able to live your life to its fullest before everything ends. One moment it's calm music, and then it randomly jumps to a minigame with high action jazz music.
This poor mother says she's lost her children. Can you lead them back here, please?
Sure thing.
To cut him off, dude. This is like Sonic 2. I'll make you eat those words. I have three lives. Wait, what? Oh, he comes out of nowhere. It's unexpected. The exploration and stages here are my favorite parts of the game. It starts off very slow, with non-stop tutorials and text pop-ups to explain how things work and the many types of currencies. And I'm not kidding here, it feels like there's an unnecessary amount of them. Sure, Sonic collects rings for health, it makes sense, but you end up collecting Koro Kids to unlock run speed, you collect red hearts to progress the story, you get skill chips to level up, you need red gems to increase your attack, you need blue gems to increase your defense, you get gears from beating enemies, you use these gears to unlock stages, within the stages you earn keys, you use these keys to get Chaos Emeralds, all of which you turn into Super Sonic, you find fish tokens for the big to catfishing minigame. In that minigame, you get separate points, treasures, and tickets to then trade out for any of the aforementioned collectibles. It's kind of overbearing for no good reason. Simpler would have been better. They really could have put most of these currencies into like one or two. I think they were, really going in all out on this open world RPG aspect here. But as I was saying before I got into the currency rant, exploration and stages here are my favorite parts. Just running around, jumping, timing rail jumps at high speeds, going through lots of high tense moments. That's what Sonic is for me. Running around at the speed of sound, guys. The stages you go into take you to many different worlds, a lot of which are direct worlds from older games like Green Hill Zone and Chemical Plants. It's quick, fun, arcadey, and I really wish there were more of them here. For the most part, I would say 70% of the game you're on these islands exploration. Yeah, there's different biomes. You start off on this greeny one, and then later on you get to a desert one. But Sonic controls like ass during these segments. There are so many moments in the game where they lock your camera and you are blind to what's up ahead, and it's even worse in boss battles where you need to time your dodges and parries. They lock Sonic's side movements to a crawl in sections of the game, and it just does not feel great. The physics here take some time to getting used to. If you dash boost on any sort of small incline, you better be prepared to have Sonic fly off without any warning. I really hated it at first, but you do get used to it. It sucks to say, but man, the combat I feel like was the biggest miss here in Sonic Frontiers. The idea does sound good on paper. Sonic now fights and dodges with kicks, punches, and special moves, but it slows things down too much. It feels more spammy than strategic, well-timed executions. It's one of those games where you just have to control the character yourself to really get an understanding, but trust me, after playing a ton of Sonic games, this is somehow, it feels worse than Sonic Adventure 1. Big awesome welcome surprise that Big the Cat shows up though. I honestly had more fun fishing than combat. It's simple, yeah, you just time your press to reel in treasure, but you get so many different types of random fish and junk pulled in, and it's very useful as it's used for trading currencies, which is the main goal of the game. You earn story and permanent unlock currencies here. Another thing I want to mention are the supersonic fights. Oh my god, I was really excited to get to this point, as it feels like it might be as epic as Sonic 2 fights with the ultimate being in space, with you teaming up with Shadow. They got the look and the sound right, the music is rock, metal lyrics, so that's cool. Holy shit, dude. The gameplay there itself is surprisingly really difficult. You're invincible, so you just have to beat down titans before your rings run out. It's a timed fight. You can't just attack them with your basic moves. You have to use special moves to cheese them and parry any chance you get to get huge punishes. Otherwise, you're going to be redoing these fights over and over. Essentially, it boils down to almost a trial and error fight. But it really gets frustrating when the camera locks away from the boss and you're continuously getting knocked back by them. They really need to fix that. There's a lot more I can get into for sure, but you can kind of get the gist here. This is on par with my modern Sonic games expectations. It sucks, but it's still fun. As long as you play this knowing that, you'll appreciate what they try to do, all while chuckling at the weird decisions, contrasting feel and tones, and the occasional what the hell just happened, whether it be story or some random thing that happened to Sonic while you were playing. I'm actually really curious about how the audience as a majority will review this game. I remember scrolling down my Instagram, I'm following IGN, and they gave it a 7. I think that's pretty on point, you know, a 7. I know they're like memed for like, oh, IGN's giving it 7, but if I were to give it a really exact score, if you are, you know, whether or not this is a Sonic game or not, if this was any other IP and it played like this, it would be a 6.0. Because it's a Sonic game, it goes up to like 6.5. But that's pretty much it. And finally, to sum it up, I hated it at first, right? I started having fun once it opened up and let you loose without too much tutorial and pop-ups. Combat sucks. The exploration is around 70% of the game. Stages are my highlights. There's just not enough of them. And I'm enjoying the ride with how ridiculous things are looking and how it feels. And finally, is this game worth $59.99? Nope. I'd say the most this game is worth is probably around $40, $35. And that is simply because it is a Sonic game. Will Sonic fans enjoy this? Yes. I think though it lacks the quirky, comedic Sonic personality that we all know and love, it's still worth going along for the ride. How about non-Sonic fans who like action exploration games? Probably no. It's not that good of a game to make any new lifelong Sonic fans, I believe. And that is it for today. If you guys enjoyed, leave a like, it helps a lot. If you haven't already, please subscribe for daily videos, and please comment below. What do you guys think of Sonic Frontiers? I'm putting this review out about a day before it comes out. And so, you know, you can have a little bit of time to check it out yourself and then come back and please let us know, you know, do you agree with this? Is there stuff you really didn't like? Some things you wish they added? Also, if you want to see my Let's Play of the game, I'm uploading it all on my Let's Play channel and we'll be streaming it on Twitch. Link down in the description. Thanks for watching and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.